That's M. Night Shyamalan.
Would you like us to call you Knight or Mr. Shyamalan or?
Oh, and Knight's fine. Knight's great.
Okay.
And you guys a good start whenever you want.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, first of all, Knight, thank you for being here with us. It's a great pleasure to have you here in our podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. What a cool space you guys have. It's beautiful, very striking. I love it.
Thank you. It's actually our logo. And you know, the name of this show, Señales Podcast, translates to Signs Podcast, which is directly inspired by your 2002 movie, which, by the way, is one of the few movies that still scares us today.
So, man, amazing. Thank you, guys. That's incredible.
It's especially significant for us to meet you.
Yeah, this is like a dream coming true right now. We thank you for that. So, if you don't mind starting with the interview.
Please,
talking about your upcoming movie in July the 23rd, titled Old. It seems like your daughters have gave you this book named Sandcastle for Father's Day a couple of years ago, which you then decided to turn into a movie. What about this story inspired you to want to bring it to the big screen? Did it have any particular influence on you that it was a gift from your daughters?
I'm sure that was in there, the emotion of that. As you know, I kind of blend the movies I'm saying with my personal life and the things that are important. Like Signs, in the movie Signs, the main character tells stories of the births of the two children. Those are the actual stories of my children. Those stories. So when Mel is telling those, I was directing him. I'm like, hey, dude, this is what happened to my child. So you better say it with emotion. So it's all very personal. And so the fact that they gave the novel, I'm sure, was a big deal. But it was the graphic novel itself. I'm very moved by graphic novels. I find that art form beautiful, and the use of images. It's more in alignment with how I think about cinema and making movies. So I feel very close to them. And when I was looking at this one, it had this kind of twisted, nightmarish quality that I loved, and this kind of dark comedy quality. It also had a mystery at the center of it. It was just all the things that I love, and it was discussing time as a villain in a way that I found really powerful.
Yeah.
Now, what about now that you made the movie? Maybe you were inspired by the graphics and everything, the characters maybe, but now has it impacted how you see the time you spend with your family, and maybe you hope that this will happen to viewers as well?
I think all of us kind of fight this feeling of trying to be present and anticipating things. I think the thing that I'm good at is thinking about things in the future and anticipating them. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard that thing that, like, the grandmaster chess players go crazy. Did you ever, like in reality, that they go crazy? They go crazy because they're never present. They're always thinking about the thing the 10 chess moves ahead, 15 chess moves ahead, so that when you meet them and you're like, hey, how are you? I'm Knight. They're like, no, you're not. And no, they think about, they're off into another world. They can't stay present here. And part of my whole life I've spent thinking about stories and what could happen and what could be the next piece and all that stuff. And I had to kind of learn to be, right back with the present, with the family. And this is my daughter. I'm having a conversation about, this boy she met or whatever it is. Be right here at that second and remember that she's nervous and she's touching her hair. Be present in that moment and not use the chess match that I play all the time. It's a fascinating thing. So this novel reminded me of that struggle, and the characters in the movie that fail at this, that they keep trying to beat time. Horrible things happen to them.
Yes. Yeah, that's prioritizing pretty good. Now, we cannot leave aside the fact that the Mexican actor, Gael Garcia Bernal, is in this movie. Yeah, your movies they're always well received here in Mexico. You know it. It's harder to do it right now, but you have come to our country before to promote your movies.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, and it seems like you have a particular liking to Mexico. What is it about Mexico that makes you come back every time?
I don't know if it's because I feel like you guys look like me, and we all feel like I feel like my brothers and sisters, that I feel very at home there, or you remind me of my family. It feels like, like a little India or something. Like,
Yeah.
I get to go you're right next door. I feel very close to the culture. I feel very at home there. I love the food. I love I find it very beautiful, the everything about it. So I miss that I can't come there to promote the movie on this one here. And it's funny. I think I was saying this to someone, that I have an interesting relationship with different countries, because they feel that I feel they own me as their own, that has come to the United States to make movies. Like, hey, you're the immigrant that came to the United States and was successful and able to make movies, and I feel that as well. I feel like I represent you guys when I'm here to do the right thing. So Gael, he's somebody that I wanted to make a movie with. I wanted to make something, and me and I had talked before about working together. Got very, very close before, and I love that guy. And I felt like I was talking to him, and I said, this is a very special thing that's happening. And when Old opens, you are going to be the lead of a U.S. blockbuster movie all around the world, and you're not playing a Mexican dad. You're just playing a dad. You're just the lead. We're at the place where you're just the person to identify with. You're just the person that every male in the world is just supposed to identify, not to say, oh, this is a Mexican man struggling with this. No, just a dad, just a husband trying to figure it out. And you're identifying. This is a big moment, I said to him. I said, no one will probably ever notice it right here in the United States, around the world, but it's a big moment that Gael is playing the romantic lead and the father in this movie. Is a big deal to me and to him.
Well, thank you for that explanation. That makes us feel welcome everywhere. And we know we have short time right now, and we wanted to ask you something. Have we ever seen your biggest personal fear in any of your movies? Even if the plot didn't explicitly mention it, like, have we seen your fears portrayed in a movie before that we haven't noticed maybe?
I mean, hopefully you've noticed them, because they're all of my fears. I mean, it's like I work through what could happen, what tragic thing could happen to my family in these movies, and work through it. Even Signs, the movie you guys talk about, is what would happen if I got that phone call and something happened to a family member. How would I react? How would that change me and make me give up on my faith in life, or that this is a benevolent place? So I kind of, those are the things that scare me. I have those nightmares, and I write them to get over those. And I guess this one is, man, I'm going to blink, and the kids they're not kids anymore. They're going to have kids. I'm going to blink, and I won't have the opportunity to go see my parents that I will tonight, right? But that doesn't mean tomorrow I can go see them. They're old, and this is the fears that I'm talking about. Wow, this is today. The way the world is only today.
Yeah, it's always living by the moment. Yeah, and
just a little question, if we have any little bit of time.
Yeah.
But talking about, we talk about true stories in this podcast, and true crime, paranormal, whatever. With Old, having to follow this baseline like we do, like we understand what happened. We don't have to come up with these stories. You don't always do that. You always write your stories and it's original movies. Now doing this, following this story you already had on the table, did that present any challenges to you?
It was an interesting one. I mean, I felt like the graphic novel was beautiful and had these wonderful characters and this beautiful premise, but it didn't really finish. It didn't really have an ending. It was kind of open-ended and, kind of spiritual and open-ended. And yet there was some stuff in the body of it that I thought, wow, that's insinuating something. It's insinuating why they're on the beach or that kind of thing. I found that really powerful. And so I follow that. So essentially, I almost used it literally as inspiration and said, hey, I felt it was almost like a collaboration where the authors were saying, painting. We gave you part of the painting. You finish the painting in the way you want. It's funny. I thought where you were going was that you're telling stories about real crime and things like that, and what's really interesting about Old is it's really extraordinary everything that happens in the movie to them. However, it's just what happens to us sped up. There really isn't anything that's supernatural other than I'm speeding the time of it up. That's it. You know, everything happens. You have babies, you get old, this happens to your mind and your eyesight and all of this stuff, and people have dementia and all this stuff. It's just happening very, very fast.
Yeah, and we don't have much time, which is why we didn't go into the ending of the movie, which you're not gonna give us right now. But yes, that's also part of it, definitely.
And Knight, we thank you a lot for being here with us to give us your time to explain about this awesome movie. We think it's awesome, and it's gonna be such a success, like every movie that you have in your repertory. We appreciate again to be the inspiration for our name.
Yes.
It's such an honor. Thank you guys, and I hope one day I can come there and be live with you, and we'll do one together. Okay?
You're
so
welcome.
let's make that our goal. Okay, for as soon as we can.
All right. Thank you so much.
That will be. Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care.
Bueno, pues esperemos que les haya gustado la entrevista. Me encantó. De verdad, nos robamos una última pregunta. Me acuerdo que nos dijeron, ya sacó el tiempo.